Hey everyone, I wanted to do a quick video about the colposcopy procedure, and that is just something that I had the other day, so it's really fresh in my mind and what happens and what happened with me. So I just wanted to put this up on my channel in case there's anybody who's sitting looking on Google now worrying about this procedure and thinking what's it going to be like, how will I feel. So I just wanted to fill it in. I am in Wales, so this is my colposcopy was done with the NHS and it was done in a Welsh hospital. Just putting that info in just in case you're wherever you are in the country. And yeah, so let's get started. So there was a few events that led up to why they had to go up and have a look inside, and they did. And when they went and looked up into my cervix, they found a Bartholomew cyst, an ulcer, red mucus, thrush, and just generally looking a bit not nice up there. So it wasn't looking great. So the doctor just said to me, look, we're going to send you for a colposcopy. We are not thinking it's anything sinister, but my mind didn't hear that. My mind heard, oh my gosh, it's awful. So I panicked for the whole time. Then she said it would take between 4 and 6 weeks for the appointment to come through, which was even more devastating, but it came in 2 weeks. Now, when you are an anxiety sufferer like I am, like OCD, 2 weeks compared to when she said 4 to 6 weeks, you panic. But let me say this, when I phoned, so I got my appointment for 2 weeks, I panicked, but on a day before the appointment, or no, 3 days before, I started my period. So I phoned them up and I said, I've started my period, can I still come? And she said, no, you can't on your period. Have you been having unusual bleeding? Is this definitely a period? I was like, it's definitely a period. I'm on day 28. It's regular as clockwork. She went, right, well, you can't come in on that day. We'll give you an appointment in 2 to 3 weeks. So I said, oh, is that standard then for colposcopy in this area? She went, yes, you'll get an appointment for 2 to 3 weeks. So the doctor had said 4 to 6 weeks, but in actual fact, for this appointment, they get you into 2 to 3 weeks. If it's more serious or you had bleeding or other things, they will get you in a bit sooner. So that eased my worry straight away, because I thought, all right, so that is the standard time anyway. Which I said to her, unfortunately, my anxiety is very, very high. Would it be possible to have it before the 2 to 3 weeks? She said, let's have a look for some cancellations. She found one the next week, only waiting for an extra 5 days or 6 days to get my period over with. My periods are generally 4 to 5 days, so I knew I would be over. And she got me in for that Wednesday after. So I was chuffed to beans because I didn't want to wait 2 to 3 weeks with the worry or concern that I was having. Now, I wasn't having any unusual bleeding. I had no signs of symptoms whatsoever. All I went into the doctor was an urgency to pee, and that was it. Now, because of that, they want to have a look at the area. When they looked up, they found then the issues with the ulcer, the Bartholomew cyst, the redness and the mucus. So, yeah, so then I got to my appointment date and I was really, really worried, really, really panicking. In the letter, it says it can take up to 10 to 15 minutes, but allow for a little bit longer. My appointment lasted, I went in at 12:30. I was seen very quickly by the nurse or by someone who just asked me my details. Then I got taken when there was space for a room to get changed. And at that point, it was like 10:46 at that point when I got taken. So 30 to 46, 16 minutes between getting a wee bit of discussion, getting yourself undressed, sitting waiting there for the room to be free. And then I was called. So it was called at 46 and I got out at 11. So it took 14 minutes for the test. Now, when I went into the room, there was 3 nurses and there was a practitioner who was going to do the test, and then another 2 ladies. One who was watching the TV and another who was giving over the equipment and things to be putting into the area. So she said to me, when I first went in, she went, let's have a sit down and chat. Are all these symptoms is what you've been having? What is, are you taking birth control? How are you feeling? And all of this. And I just said, yes, all of these symptoms are right. Everything is what is down on paper for what the doctor referred me for. So then she said, if you go and sit on over onto the chair. And it's a chair with stirrups. So you got stirrups at the bottom and you sit on the chair and you put your feet on the stirrups. And then, so you're sitting normal. And then the stirrups lift like that. And the chair lifts. And then your legs just flop over onto the side. So mine's didn't. They were just sitting there like that. And she went, no, you really need to flop your legs over to the side so they're arrested. It is very, very unladylike. It's not attractive, but it's not going to be, is it? So we had the first lady, who is the official person who's going to look in. She was sitting in front of me, and you had the woman who was looking at the screen over on this side, and the woman who was giving her the equipment over on this side. And then as I opened up my legs, and I had my little gown, because I had to wear a gown, sorry, I don't know if I said, I had to strip down from the waist. I could leave my top on. I had a gown, and the gown had an opening at the back, and she said sit onto the chair and open up your gown and lift it up. So I lifted it onto my knees. So I was sitting there like that, these are my knees, and my gown was right here. And so my legs and vaginal area and everything else was on show to the lady right in front of me. Now she brought over these big massive magnifying glass things, and they were sitting right in front of me. And she then positioned herself to put in the speculum. Now the speculum is just a smear. So if you've ever been for a smear, it's one of those. They insert it into your vagina, and then they open it up a little bit so they can see the cervix. Now, I got an itchy nose again, sorry. At that point, she said to me, can you cough please? Because the cervix was hiding, which is very common for me in my smears. And when I have a smear, I generally have to put my hands underneath my bum and cough to bring the cervix out a little bit. So I had to cough twice. Now, at that point, there is a little bit of uncomfortableness. If you've ever had a smear, it feels exactly like that when it's going up and opening up. I mean, there's no pain. You don't need to go, oh, stop, because that's an excruciating pain. It's just an uncomfortable feeling that you really don't want anything going up there. And it's kind of like in an environment that's not romantic. So it's not something you are wanting to have. So once she had put in the speculum and she was sitting in front, she got her magnifying glass, that big monument, no, that big monument, it's not a monument, that big instrument thing that's sitting in front, it never ever goes inside you. It just stays outside you and it looks in. So once you got the speculum up and stuff, that's it done. And then she's just looking into your cervix. So she's looking in a magnifying glass and she can see it on the little monitor. So she's seeing everything and the other person's seeing everything as well. And they're having a quick look. And then she started to get the instruments. These are just long instruments that at the end of it, they put a little bit of cotton wool and a little bit of dye, from what I could see. And then they tap the dye onto the cervix. Now, this did not hurt. It didn't feel, it was like, you can feel it, but it's not sore. Honestly, it's not sore. For me, everybody else is different, because I know that some people are a little bit more tighter up there if they're younger and stuff like that. I've had 2 babies. My first baby was 10 pounds 11. That speculum ain't gonna hurt me. Never gonna hurt me. So anyway, they put the dye on and straight away I heard the lady at the side say, that's normal, that's normal. And then the woman who put the dye on then came over to the television and looked and watched. And she then said, yep, that's fine. Then she got another new thing, because I think there's 2 dyes that they can put on, or 2 kind of tests that they can do. And she put that onto my cervix again. And again, she stopped and watched the screen and said, that's completely normal as well. So then she said to me, everything is fine. We can't see the ulcer or the inflammation that the doctor had seen. So either it's gone, or with the naked eye, she hadn't seen it properly. But there is a follicle, like an under the skin spot, that she could see, and that was the only thing that she could see, and the rest was completely normal. And she let me see it on the screen and said to me, if you have a look, this is what we're looking at here, this is your cervix, it's an ugly looking thing. She went, this is what it looks like. And she even said, when I'm doing that, she went, that's me going in and out of the cervix. She went, and everything is completely normal and healthy and lovely up there, there's nothing to be concerned about, and we are discharging you from colposcopy. So that was great, and I got to ask some questions too, because I said, what's that? That looks like blood. She went, no, it's completely normal. And I went, what's that? That looks white. Is that thrush? No, you don't have thrush. It's completely normal. She said that was completely and utterly normal, and there was nothing to be concerned about. So you get to ask your questions, and she gets to talk to you, and they talk to you in a manner that's really quite intimate and nice, and just in a general discussion type thing. So it was really relaxed and lovely, for sure. So that was the end of my test, and they said everything was normal, we're discharging you now, you can go through and get changed. So I went back through into the changing rooms, which is just like 2 little bay things where you can close the door and there's a toilet for to wipe. And I got myself changed, And that was it. I was free to go with no other issues or no other worries. So that was really, really good. I went to the toilet and I put on a pad because even after a smear, sometimes you can have a little bit of light bleeding, but I had no bleeding whatsoever. If you do have bleeding, especially after a biopsy, it's very, very normal and not to worry or be concerned about it after all the little things that I've read up on the procedure. If there is copious amounts, then obviously you need to get in touch with your caregiver, your health giver, and just let them know. If you've got anything, worries or infection, you think there might be an infection after it, especially after a biopsy, then really you just need to get in touch with your doctor or phone 111 where they will give you some advice. But from mine was a colposcopy with no biopsy. I had no discharge, no problems at all. I did have very, very achy legs in the night and very achy lower back. And I couldn't find any information online to say if that was normal or not. But I can imagine with you being stressed in the morning, you're very stressed out, you're feeling tense and you're up on that stirrup thing even for 14 minutes. I can imagine that's what made me really quite tense up and my muscles were overworking, and that's why I felt a little bit sore afterwards. But the next day my legs completely eased off. My back pain was a little bit the next day, but nothing, just kind of like period back pain. That is not that is not what it says on the website that you might experience after a normal colposcopy without biopsies, but that's just something that I've experienced. So if you're going for one, then and it comes out that it's normal, don't be too upset or worried if you have achy legs or an achy back, because it does ease. So then we were free to go and we were free to leave, and that was it. So that is my experience. I would say it was 14 minutes in the chair, 10 minutes before that, and then 3 weeks of worry before that. But I hope I've covered everything from the appointment, getting the letter, and what you will experience on the actual day. I found the ladies in the colposcopy unit to be wonderful, really relaxed and chilled out, and so lovely at putting your nerves at ease and just giving you that reassurance that you need. So yeah, that is it for my colposcopy experience. Alright, thanks for joining me and take care of yourself, and I'll see you on another video very soon. Bye everyone.
To my channel, comment below, press the bell button, thumbs up, thank you.